and welcome to another video. And today we're talking about something that's actually pretty disappointing. This was not a video I planned to make today. This was kind of a bombshell announcement that was dropped today, and the minute that this was announced, there's been a lot of scuttle about this particular game in the last month. This was kind of, in my opinion, the final nail in the coffin for me to make a video about it, and that is of course the forthcoming release of Redfall. Bethesda's published Arcane Studios cooperative shooter that they've been working on. It's been announced, I think it's been 2 years since it was announced. So this game is coming out May 2nd. IGN's been pumping out a lot of information about this game in the last month because it's their first look game of the month. There's been some other information as well that's come out about this game that's less than exciting, including issues like the host's progress saves, whereas other people that join the game aren't progressing in the actual story. Like, that's such a 2013 issue for a video game. Why does that exist in 2023? But perhaps the most damning thing that they could have done, the number one thing, the number one fuck you to people that have any interest in playing this game on an Xbox is releasing the game capped at 30 frames. I made a video about this last fall. I was hoping this wasn't going to become a trend with the next gen games. We had a bad week at the end of October last year between Gotham Knights being capped at 30 frames and the second Plague Tale game also being capped at 30 frames. Since the recording of that video, I have actually in the background been playing Gotham Knight. In fact, I have my copy of it right here. So my girlfriend and I have been playing Gotham Knights together. 30 frames hurts that game. Hurts that game really, really bad. So, but it's still playable. This is a first-person shooter. You want this game to hit that 60 frame mark. And there is a little bit to say here. So I'm going to share the article. This comes directly from IGN. Here's the gist of the article. Xbox version of Redfall capped at 30 frames at launch, 60 frames coming later. That's the gist. So this game's not always going to be 30 frames. It's only going to launch with a quality mode on May 2nd. They put out the specs here. Revealed on Redfall's Twitter account, the game will run 30 frames in 4K, so full 4K on the Series X, and 30 frames at 1440p, so 2K resolution on the Series S. Bethesda did specify when it will add the 60 frames performance mode, but it's definitely coming after launch. It's also unclear why performance mode won't be available right away. As reported here, Redfall has also received backlash from fans recently after Bethesda revealed it would also launch with an always online requirement. However, Arcane said it's working on a solution to reverse that decision. I wanted to cite the article here before I get into the nitty gritty on it because it's bullshit. I'm just gonna come out and say it. This is fucking garbage. I've been excited to play Redfall. I'm now at the point where it's not even on my radar. Like, I will wait until it plays at 60 frames. I have so many other fucking games to play right now. I mean, Star Wars Jedi Survivor literally hits a couple days before this game comes out. We have Zelda in May. In June, we have fucking Diablo. If people care about Street Fighter 6 is out. I don't know if I'm going to play that right away. But also that Alien Dark Descent game, which looks fantastic. There are games coming out, Minecraft Legends is out next week at the time of this recording. Like, again, there are games coming out. And for something that I was excited about, I mean, I think I've said this before on the channel, I recently bought a second Series X, which is, right under here in this office, so my girlfriend and I could play games together on separate screens. And Redfall was one of the games that we were talking about playing, but if it's gonna run like garbage, at 30 frames, why even bother at launch? You're already shooting this game's chances in the foot at launch. Why was this decision made to release the game May 2nd without a performance mode? I have no fucking idea. It's a tremendously poor decision on Bethesda and Arcane's side of things. Like, why? Like, Microsoft needs nothing but help right now. And that's the other part of this video I want to say. Like, we're in May now. You know, we kind of had some good faith with Microsoft, you know, back in January with that developer direct, putting out that Hi-Fi Rush game out of the blue. People were singing the praises of Microsoft once again. And now we're back in the same spot where it's like, fuck, this, you know, really big game that people are excited about as Xbox owners, and especially people out there, I'm not one of them, but people out there that only own an Xbox, you know, are excited about Redfall, aren't excited about it as much anymore simply because of this. And it also makes me question, like, does that mean Starfield is going to come out in September and be 30 frames only on the Xbox? I mean, that game I've already made the decision I'm going to play it on PC because mods eventually, and you know, other stuff that won't be able to definitely will not be their day one on Xbox. But again, I feel for Xbox fans in this case, and I have a decent enough, you know, gaming PC. I could play Redfall on PC if I wanted to, but that's not the point. Like, I wanted to play it on my Xbox. And I know, you know, some people are going to watch this video and they're going to be like, oh, this dude's just fucking whining about 60 frames. It fucking matters now. We're in 2023. These systems have been out for 2.5 years. There's no excuse anymore for a game to launch without the option. You know, scale the resolution back then. I don't give a fuck. If you want to put the game out and make the resolution 1080p in order for it to hit 60 frames, fucking do it. I'll give you an example of a recent game I played that is 1080p, but ran at 60 frames, and that's just how the developer put it out, and it was fine. And that is Evil West. Evil West shockingly only runs at 1080p on the Series X, but again, it's 60 frames. It fucking matters. Like, and just it's especially egregious when I go back and I play something like Gotham Knights, which I'm gonna be honest, playing a little bit of Gotham Knights, it's not as terrible as people said it was, but it's still 30 frames, and that's the most awful part about it. This is just a gigantic. This is just a gigantic momentum killer for this game to come out. I'm honestly amazed they did it before launch. You know, I could have totally seen Microsoft saying, do not put this out until the day the game releases to let people know. But, I mean, I will applaud them for at least telling people ahead of time. But again, why are we here? Why are we only able to hit 30 frames in a first-person shooter? Especially when you look at Arcane and you look at their library of other games. Like, now, I'll be honest here. Out of all of the games that this studio has made, you know, with the Dishonored, with Prey, with Deathloop, the only game I've ever cared for was Prey. I did not like Dishonored 1. I did not play 2 because I didn't like Dishonored 1. And I just couldn't get into Deathloop. I know there are people out there that will sing the praises of that game. And that's great. I'm glad you enjoyed your time with it. It just wasn't for me. But guess what? It ran at fucking 60 frames a second. Like, this game doesn't. What the fuck? So, you know, again, it sucks. I don't understand this. And this is supposed to be the year, right? Like, we keep hearing Microsoft say, trust the plan, trust the plan. This is the year, you know, we're going to have all this stuff happen. And, you know, Starfield's coming out, right? And Redfall's coming out and stuff. It's like, yeah, but then you take the wind out of those sails when you put shit out like this. So I'd love to know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Are you like me? Are you going to just avoid Redfall until they patch the 60 frames mode in? Are you going to still play it at launch? Am I being a giant man-child for crying about 60 frames in 2023? I'd love to know in the comments below. Remember, as always, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time.